Well, in other news now, and he has been accused of misleading Queen Elizabeth II, running a roughshod over the British Constitution and having a conflict of interest in his dealings with an American businesswoman. The Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, is facing multiple challenges right after moving into 10 Downing Street. The biggest challenge for Boris Johnson is to get the UK out of the European Union and save his position as the head of the state. Britain's opposition parties have left no stone unturned to block a no-deal Brexit from taking place against the Parliament's will. But Boris Johnson and his party may not adhere to a new law requiring him to seek a Brexit extension if no divorce deal is reached with the European Union. Britain is set to leave the EU on October 31st unless it seeks an extension and one is granted. But Johnson has said he plans to leave on that day with or without a Brexit divorce agreement. Johnson's aggressive defence of Brexit and his determination to leave the European Union might result in him being the shortest-serving Prime Minister of the UK.
Boris Johnson is facing three main challenges. One, of course, is Brexit. He's insisting that they will get Brexit done. That was the slogan of the Tory party conference. He's insisting that they will leave the EU on the 31st of October, deal or no deal. Of course, there was a law that was passed to prevent just that Britain cannot leave without a deal. So he has also insisted that he's not going to break the law, so opposition is confused on whether he has found another way to circumvent the law, and they certainly want to prevent him doing just that. Of course, the Tory party might have a coup afoot if he doesn't leave on the 31st of October. So he seems to be in a very tight spot in terms of Brexit. And of course, coming from Brussels, they said they haven't had a lot of movement in negotiation when it comes to that backstop, which is the main sticking point of the negotiations.
And as soon as Johnson took the office of the UK Prime Minister, the women of Boris Johnson's past have started to catch up with him. Johnson has been accused by a respected London journalist, Charlotte Edwards, of inappropriate touch in the late 1990s or early 2000s. Johnson was the editor of The Spectator political magazine and she was a contributor. In a column, Edwards went on to say that Johnson behaved in the same manner to a woman also present at the lunch. The Prime Minister's official spokesperson has denied the claims in a one-line statement which read, and I quote, "This allegation is untrue." When asked in a television interview if he had inappropriately touched a woman's thigh as a journalist, reporter Johnson simply said no.
The next major issue that Boris Johnson facing is allegations that he has essentially a problem with women. Now, a journalist has claimed that he squeezed her thigh under the table. He has dismissed the allegation, but this journalist is a well-reputable journalist who writes for very senior papers, and she's surprised that he doesn't remember. There is also accusations of the dismissing of female concerns when a Labour MP said she was receiving death threats over Brexit. He described it as humbug.
And the third challenge is the scandal hanging over Boris Johnson's head regarding his affair with an American businesswoman which he had when he was the Mayor of London. According to an article published by the Sunday Times of London, when Boris Johnson was the Mayor of London, from his office had directed tens of thousands of pounds of government money to a fledgling entrepreneur and close friend. Even with lawmakers consumed by the fight over Brexit, the scandal has managed to gather steam. On a plane to the United Nations General Assembly, Boris Johnson repeatedly refused to say whether he was in a sexual relationship with the woman.
The other main issue, the final issue, is impropriety in office. Now, there is allegations that Boris Johnson had a friendship, certainly, and possibly affair with a American businesswoman. And the affair is almost less of an issue. It's whether that relationship he had with her led him to curry favor and allow her to get grants that her company was not eligible for and put her on trade missions that were not appropriate for her company. So those are the major challenges he faces. And if he doesn't tackle them, then he might just be the shortest serving British Prime Minister. Mandy Clark, World is One, WION.